All right. So this is the last stage of the main part of build your own HTTP server, and they have some extensions that they added on to. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this one is. Read request body. In this stage, you'll add support for the post method of the file's file name endpoint, which accepts text from the client and creates a new file with that text. Okay, so basically this is just going to upload route. That's what it is. So in the file's file name, I'm out of curiosity. Am I doing anything with like get or something? It's like I have my router, I have my segments. Yeah, I don't think I'm caring about like what this is, right? We're just going like, we're just saying, hey, if this is a get request here, so this is always like, regardless of what it is, it's going to handle file. I wonder if I also want to test like a post on here, which I think we can get with the type of thing. So hold on. If I do this, if we say, if the request dot method, what are you? Method is a type method. Method here is a get. Okay, and then I want to post. Right. Okay, so probably another match on here might be the best thing. So we just do a match on request method. So method get is then going to be this thing. Otherwise, we have a method post, and then we're going to have like that's like handle file. So we're going to have like a save file. So that would be over here. We can touch routes save file. S. And let's see if I don't, let's not worry about this right now. We'll just add in a result and a response. We'll throw in a to do. And then this will be a save file here. We'll context you. The context is saving file, handler, and question mark you. And then you are that. What are you upset about? Expected response, found nothing. Because you don't. Oh, I do respond with a response. Okay. Let's see. That's a question mark. Oh, yeah. No semicolon there, so it doesn't like end, and we just still have access to it. Okay. So this should work now. So everything by default is a GET request, unless I want it to be something else. Then I throw this in there. The router is a little bit messy. It's not that great, but it works. Variant post is never constructed. That's not, I'm using it, right? Aren't I using it right here? Method post? Okay, whatever. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Do I need to like, I don't know. I don't know what you're yelling at me about. Although it's yelling in the real code too. So that's odd. Ashkay or Akshay, hello. How are you doing today? You're halfway through the rest book? Nice, excellent. How are you enjoying it so far? How far I'm here to this level of doing stuff? Well, if I remember correctly, there is building an HTTP server as part of the Rust book, so you're most of the way there, like 90%, I'm sure. Okay, so this is good, and then let's head back into save file in here. So we want the directory coming in, so we're gonna have a directory, and we know that that's gonna be an option and a stir. And then the other thing is that we want the path, the file name, and the file name is also going to be an option with a stir inside of it. Okay, so given those two things, oh, and then the final thing, which is the body, which is probably going to be the request itself. So then I can hand in the request. It's going to be a reference to the request. Import that. Okay, so now you're going to be upset because I need to handle all these things in. So directory, we have that already. So we have the directory, the file name, that's going to be the segments next, and then a reference to the request. Okay, so that makes you happy. I need the contents of the body. Okay, you're having fun with Rust. Excellent. That's great to hear. How am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm doing pretty good recently. Although a lot of busy stuff that I'm having to do outside of Stream and Brooks builds right now. So hopefully I'll be able to be like finished up with that pretty soon and get back to like more streams, longer streams, all that fun stuff. I really want to get back to that pretty quickly. Nice. Yeah, you're saving a playlist to work on projects in Rust after you complete the book. Excellent. Yeah, let us know how that goes. And then if you're not part of the community on Discord, we'd love to have you there so you can chat about that. Keep yourself motivated with it. We'll be happy to like cheer you on as you go through all your projects. Okay, so the response. Sorry, the request. I don't have a body here, so we need a body, which I think we're just gonna have this be. It probably needs to be an option, and then we're just gonna make this be a string, aren't we? It's just gonna be like just a raw text. But of course, it might not be here. And if I remember correctly, it's the last thing, right? So process request comes in, read the stream, process the raw request, and then it gives us a request the reader about to parse the method. Okay. Parse method from request. Okay. That's great. That gives us the method. We get the path, parse the protocol from the request. Okay, so we have the protocol, parse the headers from the request, and then we're done, which means we need a parse body from the request, which I can follow up with what this looks like. Now, what do you take in? You take in the request. Okay, right, which is the reader. We have a reader for this. And then I'm going to return what are you returning? A result with then the thing inside of it. So it would be basically a result with a string inside. Of course, there might not be that one, is there? Oh, Discord, how you can join it. Yes, I have, let's see. I have a link somewhere in YouTube, like my YouTube profile, but here I'll get the response from Twitch. So if I do Discord, no, it's not / Discord, it's bang Discord. Then that shows up there, and I take you and put that into chat here. There. That should give you the link to join Discord. All right. Okay, so we have you parse the body from the request. Now, if I remember correctly, everything I can now just read to the end and we're good to go. From what I understand. So if I have like the rest of the body. So if we just do mute body equals a string new. Is this, I think I just read, I can then just do request, read all the bytes and to end a file, place them to the buffer. I think it's read to end, right? No, I can't do that. We've tried that stuff before, right? It's something else because it could be really large. It's like parse protocol. Oh, so I just read the line, but of course it could have a new line, so I can't read line. Read until, okay, so hold on. Here's an example of a post file name request. Okay, so you have all the headers, and then we're in a crest body. Is that it? There's just nothing else. A crest body does not necessarily always valid UTF data unless they specify the data is never compressed and such here. It's hard to tell. They might do compression in the next section because it looks like there's HTTP compression extension for this challenge. But for here, they're basically saying it's just going to be some random data. So I think it's going to be fine. But you're right. That is a dangerous thing for like anybody uses this web server thing. Like I would probably want to check to see what type of content type this was to then test like, okay, what is it actually going to be? Awesome, Akshay. We'll see you on Discord. Okay, so we'll send a post. You'll set that Content length header set to the size of the request body and bytes. That's what it is. Okay. So the content request header. So I get access to the headers here, which is going to have the content. Okay, perfect. So once I get to this point, I know how many bytes I need to read from the content. So I need to access the headers. Where are you? And headers is literally just a hash map, string. Didn't I have a type headers? I do have a type headers. So I can just say, I want the headers, which is a type reference to the headers. Okay. So given that, I create what the body is going to be. Now let's actually just call this a buffer. I need to extract out the length that this is going to be. So I need let content type, it's going to be equal to headers, returns a reference to the value corresponding to the key. So if I remember correctly, we put everything into lowercase, header name to lowercase. Yeah, so this will be content. It is dash, not underscore, right? Yeah, so content type like that. And if you don't exist, I could do an unwrap or default because it's a string, right? Oh, there is no such thing as a default. Okay, fine. Map, unwrap or else. We'll do a string new. Is there a way for me to get cloned? Isn't there like a get like .cloned on? Yeah, cloned. Okay. So now I have access to the full string, and that's great. I want to, let's see, content type. We get this. Okay, we want to check to see what the content type is. So if the content type is not equal to application octet stream. Ooh, wait, what do I put in here? Do I actually put in a header or is it just strings? It is just string. So this should be fine. Okay, so if you're not that, then I want to return an error, right? So we want to bail, and we're just going to say invalid header. I mean, it's a weird thing to say this as like, that's not like technically correct of what a web server should do, but we're basically saying you better be what I say it should be. Fun fact, you're taking apart your old desk while you're making the part of your brain that thinks it's doing something. Wait, but taking apart your desk is doing something, right? Or am I making you think that you're doing more than just taking apart your desk? You have no clue how that works because you'd think that part of your brain would be, well, part of your brain that's not knowing. It's the human brain is really fascinating. It is so interesting how this all works. Okay, so content type, if you're not that, invalid header. And then the next thing is I want content length, I think. So headers, we're going to get content dash length. Okay, and so once we have that, we're going to just do if, this should be an let sum probably. So let sum content length equals, and actually I could just do this here. Okay, sum content length equals to that. Otherwise, we're going to have to bail missing content length header. String would be application text. Not what they say. But you know what we can do is we can go the other direction around. We could just say, you know what? What if I don't care about the content type right now? What if we just say, this is going to be fine. Everything's going to be great. We're going to get the content length. Now, this is a string so far. So I need to also parse this, right? So if I do a length equals content length, I have to parse this into, I guess we'll do this as a usize. Context, parsing, context, length, header into number. Then we have you as a usize. I want to now read into the buffer from the reader, right? So we take a request. I don't want to transform you. Pull some bytes from this source, returning how many bytes were read, but not enough here. Right, so buffer is going to have to be an array of, let's do this as zeros as length. And I'll put you down there. And so read context, reading into buffer. And then I want to convert this into a string and then return that as a result, right? So I want our buffer. I think we do string from, right? String from UTF-8. Well, that's a vector, right? What do I do with the other ones? It's like, I can do a from, right? Buffer is just an array. Okay, I want to look at, when I'm getting a path, that's a string, right? Yeah, so I'm getting a path from here. Oh, I turned that into a vec like you. Oh, okay. That's why it worked. And for you, okay, you're an unknown. Wait, that's mine. That's my current one. Method. Oh, that's also a vec like that. I read until space. I don't want to use read until. I can set the size of a vec, right? When I create it. So like instead of this, can I do like the equivalent of this? Will it let me do that? Yes, it will. Okay, perfect. So then from UTF-8 and then hand it the buffer. Context, this is converting body to body buffer to string, and then that's being returned. Okay, missing the body, but that's fine. So after the headers, we then let's do this. Print line, because we love printing lines. About to parse body. Letter body equals parse body from request. You want the request first, so it's the mute reader, and then the headers. And then I throw body is some body because I wonder, like, can you just actually have an empty body? Because if that's the case, then I can just have you be a full string, can I? We'll find out if everything else starts breaking. Why the vec instead of the array? I needed a way to do the string from UTF-8, and that didn't have it from an array. It only had it from a vec. So maybe that's... Is there a way to do string from UTF-8 and to not be a vector and to be an array? I didn't really look that closely, but it worked. But okay, so I'm curious about whether or not... Okay, so where's my thing? So here's about to parse body. We do that, and then I want a print line. Got body. You said some body. I take 6 points of psychic damage. I don't know the reference, and I'm getting the idea that I don't want to know the reference. So I'm sorry you're alone there. You were thinking of standard, stir from UTF. Oh, okay. Either way, it's gonna be fine because I need to turn it into a string anyways, and a vec versus an array is like, yeah, I can totally see like using an array would be more efficient, but there's a lot of inefficiency in this web server, and we're not worried about any of those. Okay, we have some warnings, but our server is running. So if I now attempt to curl this, we want to do maybe like, we'll call this new file. Call this new file 1, and then I want to send in, I think it was like what, D data? So D, dash data, and send it in that. So data that about parsing raw request, parsing method, unknown method string post with a friggin' space in the end. So hold on, what did I do here? Okay, so reading method from reader. So we got about to parse method, reading method from reader, converting bytes to method. Okay, so we got to here. Oh, and then I try from method. Oh, because I get this vec of U8 for the value. String from, there's my method string. Oh, and then I two uppercase. Oh, but this is what it is. So I need to post you. self post. There. That's what the problem is. Yeah, data defaults to post, not get. And I didn't handle like the actual creating of that, but that's fine. So now if I run this again, got body 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So then if I add something else, like new line, a bunch of other stuff, okay, it seems to be finding it. Excellent. I have not been introduced to Smath. Okay. It has been forever since I've heard any of the Smash Mouth songs. It's been years since I've listened to any of those. I just completely out of my head. I'm probably going to have them in my head now for the rest of the day, though. Thank you for that. Because now I go like, I now see the somebody thing. Yeah, I get that. Okay, I've got it now. All right, so that's working. I now have access to the body. It's now just panicking because we're in a not yet implemented. So in save file, now we can actually do the thing, right? Because now we have access to the body. And I guess, something else that I want to do is I want to test if I just do my curl where I'm just getting the temp file about to parse body. There is no body. Panicked, missing content length header because, okay, so it's going to miss the content length header because it's not a post. This only works if it's a post. So we need to go back. We need to go back to the body being an option. This is fine for right here because we're going to say only attempt to parse the body from the request if it's a post. So parse header. Okay, so I want to go to parse raw request. If the method, I can't do equals, can I? So if matches, how does matches work? Is it left side or right side? Okay, so it's the item I'm testing and then on the left. So, okay, so if it's the method on there and I want method post, okay, so if you're that, then parse you, else I want a none, and you become a sum, right? Did I do that right? I think I did that right. There we go. Okay, so now we have bodies. You need to be like that to be happy. Okay, perfect. So now this shouldn't yell at me anymore. Psychic damage is meant to be shared with friends. It is, isn't it? Okay, so now if I do this again, this should now work as it is because I can now get a request. And if I do a post, that will work too. Perfect. So if I send you out, I just get the not yet implemented. Perfect. What we expected. Okay, so save file. So directory. So we want to create our path. So let mute our path is equals going to be a path new from directory. I want to let our directory equals no. Our directory is going to be a let sum directory. Okay, so equals directory. Otherwise, we're going to return a response, return an OK, response code, HTTP code, your fault, body is none, and content type is a content type, sure, that. Okay, all right, so that gives us the directory. I need the same thing for file name, and we'll just say, hey, it's your fault. It's okay. It's your fault. Great, good to go. And then we create the path. The path is going to be based upon the directory. I want to path.join the file name. Does this give me we literally just did this. Oh, it gives me a new path, doesn't it? So let file equals, okay, create that. And actually I could just do that all together when I throw this in there. By the way, that 1235 slash new will not send a new line. Curl doesn't do escape code things here. Oh, okay. Well, fine. I'm sure it would still work. I'm positive everything will work just fine. It'll be great. You didn't start the server with the directory argument. Your fault. Exactly. We should, like, everybody should just change over and start just saying, like, oh, 400 is just your fault. And then, of course, the other one is my bad. Okay, so we have our path here. I want to create a new file and then write to the file. Now, I want file, create, opens a file in write-only mode. This will create a file if it does not exist, and it will overwrite a file, I'm pretty sure, if it does exist. And I will be fine with that. It's okay. All right, so this is going to be our path, and we're going to join the file name. We have context, opening file for write. Okay, so there we go. We have our file. I want to now write the body to the file, right? So we want to file dot attempts to write an entire buffer to this file. So I could do that. Write a buffer to this writer. Wait, can I just use write with this? Anime girls, hello. How are you doing today? Is this a buffer? Or is this a writer? Can I use like the write can I do that with it and say like, hey, here's file. And then I want to pass in the request.body. Will you let me do that? Cannot write into file. So no, the answer is no. So file dot, I probably just want write all. Writes a formatted string into this writer, returning any, use the interface with the format args macro. Oh, never, don't call this yourself. I think I just want to write all. Probably just write all. Right? It's like write all. You want writes an entire buffer into this writer. I kind of have the buffer, don't I? This would be buffer would be equal to the request body. Oh, yeah, hold on. Let's body equals request body. I don't need to take ownership of you, I don't think, right? So if I do that, I could take ownership of later. I could always like to own this. Okay. Otherwise, guess what? It is, again, your fault. Okay. So now I have the body. I don't think I can just could I just do body? I can do as bytes, but it needs to be immutable, doesn't it? Okay. So what if I let our body buffer equals body as bytes, make that mutable, and now I can just say a mutable reference to the body buffer. We'll context you and say writing body to file, like that, and then we'll file flushing body, and then we're good to go, and then we'll just say okay, response, code, HTTP code. I'm going to say okay right now, but we're missing created. Body, we're going to have no body, and then content type is none. That's not true. I can't do content type now. Do content type text blank. Okay, just some warnings, but no errors. Okay, no errors, no warnings. You don't see why write wouldn't work. It yelled at me and told me that it wasn't a actual writer that I could pass in. It was the wrong type. That was the problem. I might be able to figure out how to get the right type eventually, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, so let's not worry about this new line type thing. Let's just see if we can throw in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into new file 1. So if I do that, 200 okay. Hey, it created a new file 1. Excellent. All right. So that's cool. And then is there anything? Oh, and so like last thing is that I need this to be a 201. Okay. So that means in our response. I want HTTP code. Sorry. We have created. Self created becomes a 201 created. Save file. So instead of being okay, you become created, and then everything else is going to be, should be that. So I want to do this again. We're going to do new file 2. We get a 201 created, and if we bat new file 2, there that is. Okay. Let's, no warnings, no errors. Let's find out if we did it. We can create a file, get push, and then see if this runs as expected. Might be worth adding a verbose response for that operation. Yeah, I could see, but hey, it works. We're able to test it out. I think we're good to go. All right, so let's see what we got. Mark this stage as complete, and that means all of the base stages are done. We've now finished the base part of build your own HTTP server. So you personally like doing it for info and debugging. Yeah, I can definitely see how like I can send back a JSON response with like actual information and data on it, which I'm of course not doing right now, but I could definitely see that being nice.